You see that wristband right there? That wristband right there came from 100 Cedar Grove Road, Conshohocken, Pennsylvania 19428. The address will be in the information down below. You know, what seems to have happened here is I went to a barn and it was $7. $7 haunt. Actually, it's $5 if you get your tickets at the actual like park office throughout the week. This is another haunt, folks, that I have never heard of before. This is Dante Renee from October Panic Attack giving you a review for the 2015 year of another haunt, another mom and pop type haunt that's very low, like very cheap to get in. $7 and actually $5 if you get your tickets at the office. I just spent the $7 and got them there. This is kind of in a park, in an arts center, like landscape. Never heard of this thing before until about 4 days ago. Um, and it's an actual. All right. First off, you might have some problems finding this because if you put it in your GPS, the road itself starts to, I mean, you were in the suburbs kind of, and then all of a sudden you start to go to like the middle of nowhere and it's really dark. If the sun's already set, it's really dark. And you're driving down the road and you could actually literally pass the entrance to this place very easily because it's not lit up. The sign isn't lit up. Nothing's lit up. I mean, the actual sign for this haunted barn is black with no light on it. So I actually passed it and kept going and started to get that feeling. You know that feeling when you realize, you know what, I think I'm lost. So I kind of I made the first right I could because the road was getting in the middle of like nowhere, pitch black kind of, and just winding and turning. So I made my first right, and I made my first right into this weird business complex where people were still there, and it said like no trespassing. I forget the name of the business, but if you pass the place on your right and keep going a little bit more, you'll see this really bizarre. I mean, I don't even remember what the name of the place was, but it was really weird. And I had to kind of make a 3-point turn in there to get out. And it had all these no trespassing signs and get out and all this kind of stuff. It was very bizarre. Some weird alien activity happening at that business complex. Anyways, you make your way in when you finally find the right entrance. And I think there's like two roads to get in actually. And the barn itself is a real barn. It's an old barn. They actually didn't know how old the barn was. And you get there, and there's a small parking lot, and you'll see a lot of families going to this one as well. It seems like a lot of the budget haunted houses, the ones that are like $5, $7, even $10, almost like $10 and under, you'll have a lot of families, a lot of kids. Maybe this is a lot of times kids' first haunted house, right? So you get to this barn, and the grounds are really dark all around. And the barn has just a little bit of light on it. And there's like a table where you get your ticket. Actually, it's not a ticket. You get this green wristband, which I don't think I've ever gotten at a haunted attraction before. And I think there's some popcorn. And I don't even know if the popcorn was for sale. I think you just get the popcorn. I don't know. But the faint smell of popcorn was in the air. And it was silent outside, apart from some occasional screaming that was going on before it was even open. There was screaming happening inside of the barn before it actually opened because I got there like right before it opened. So that was really bizarre. And you're kind of getting the vibe, you know, there was like a young, like a really small kid and a girl, like an older girl at the table selling the wristbands, the tickets, the admission in. And you kind of get the vibe like, and you see some of the actors coming out with their masks off, and one, you know, said hi to me. They were friendly. They were talking to other people, and they said, "Oh, it's time to start." So they run in, and you kind of get the vibe like this is gonna be, you know, like kind of like a fun mom and pop type place, you know, kind of a fun, wacky, weird, maybe some kid actors in there, have a few jump scares, and see just kind of a weird mom and pop experience, right? First thing, it's nothing like that at all. I was completely sucker punched by the atmosphere of the inside of the barn. Number one, they give you a guide. Never really had a guide in a haunted house before. Typically, you think of a guide, you think, oh crap, they're just gonna be talking me through everything. This is gonna be more like a like a spectacle, like a show. It's not like I'm actually in a haunted house walking on my own. Well, actually, your guide doesn't speak to you at all. Your guide just kind of keeps walking and never looks behind at you. And so, in essence, he's almost like leading the way for you, which is a really bizarre experience, especially since you can't see the guide's face. At least our guide's face. It was completely blackened out with that kind of effect, that hood and everything. And all I can say is that the atmosphere of this place, it just, and I'm not, there wasn't like imagery that would make this way. It was just the atmosphere. It was just the vibe. The vibe was like very dark, very sinister, very evil in a way. It almost reminded me of the now gone Devil's Folly in a way from the Poconos area, Easton area, Pennsylvania, and it just had a very dark, sinister, evil type vibe. It was like an oppressive type of vibe that I was not prepared for whatsoever. They did they had actors that were very serious in here, and then a couple that were kind of like playing like a goofy, weird type of vibe. The props were, like low budget type props, but this place really was like really like you're walking up steps and you're walking up steps. It's 3 floors, and this place really worked. The fog and the lighting and the music was very unique too, especially in one room. It was a very sinister, oppressive type vibe, and the actors were screaming really loud in your face and jumping out at opportune moments, and they were really utilizing fog and strobe lights and just the different floors of this barn. Now, there were two people that actually met me there from the YouTube community, two girls, and they were awesome. And they actually went and then went from there to Elk's Haunted Lodge, which is a stone's throw away, or the Visitation Church basement, or Lulu's House of Horrors. There's tons of things around there. So anyway, folks, the haunted barn in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. The address will be down below. Supposedly, this place has been around for like a really long time, but they took a couple years break. Um, this is a mom and pop. It's short. It's not long. Okay, but you're going to be doing some walking up and down or upstairs and stuff, and you're going to be in an old barn with a sinister, dark, oppressive atmosphere with serious, crazy actors in your face. Um, and you're going to get mostly thick atmosphere in this place. It's thick, sinister, evil type of atmosphere in this place. And I was not expecting that whatsoever. Um, it's also a great one for kids to start them off on, although at the same time, it might be pretty sinister of an atmosphere. I keep saying atmosphere because that's what this haunted barn really gave me. Did I jump that much? Not really, although there were some aspects where people were jumping at me from fogged areas and things like that, where they kind of appear out of nowhere, if you catch my drift. It was mostly just like, whoa, this is an awesome freaking atmosphere right here. Yeah.